The Wisephone 2 is a great phone for moderately distracted adults and or kids. Let me explain. So I've been using this Wisephone 2 for about a week and a half now to see how it fits into my day-to-day. And before you delve into any choices around a dumber phone purchase and in your journey in digital minimalism as a whole, you need to learn a few things about yourself, what your habits are, where your needs lie. Recently, something that I've learned about myself is that I really like to stare at shiny rectangles. And there's something about the form factor for me that hypnotizes me and disrupts my dopamine in a dramatic way. If I'm being honest, anything with a screen, you'd think after 30 plus years that I'd have better self-control in this space, but I don't. I think this form factor is actually the right way to go for many watching. The hardware is very nice. It's almost identical to the Samsung A15 5G. In fact, I think it's exactly that device, but they work with Samsung to have this dialed into their software, which is pretty cool. It's got a 6.5-inch large HD display, 1080 by 1920 pixels, a 64 megapixel camera, plus a macro and a wide-angle lens camera, which allows you to take decent photos with a smartphone. At this point in my journey with phones and tech, I've really gotten away from caring about how a smartphone does with photos because I opt to bring something else in my bag to capture photos on the go. So this category isn't necessarily as important to me these days. Nonetheless, here are some examples of the photo and video quality you will find. Front-facing camera and audio. There is some mild weather things going on around me, a little bit of wind. Nothing crazy. How's it look? How's it sound? And then here's the rear-facing camera. This would be to shoot all the things that you want to shoot out in the open. Yeah. Another welcome piece of hardware is the 3.5 millimeter jack. I don't know about you, but there's something very right about a phone or iPod-sized piece of tech in your pocket that can connect to any set of audio monitors, and that makes life feel a little bit better. Sadly, this peripheral is going away more and more these days. Even the Wisephone 3 doesn't have a headphone jack. On the side of the phone, you have a fingerprint scanner for added security. This phone's great because you can opt for whichever option when you purchase the device, whether that be expandable storage up to 1 terabyte, or you can get the dual SIM card option, which is excellent if you have a personal number and a spy number too. So the money you spend on a Wisephone 2 translates to a decent piece of hardware and a curated Android experience. So the way the pricing works is you purchase the device outright for $399. And right out the gate, if you have your own SIM card or service plan, the phone will work just fine. You can make calls and texts, you can take photos, you can even use navigation, and all of those core stock apps that they offer work right out the gate. But now if you want to use kind of the full benefit of the Wisephone, then you'll want to opt for one of their plans. If you have your own service plan, you can keep that and then pay $14.99 a month, and that will give you access to the techlist drawer or the tool drawer, and then that will unlock all of the extras, the curated experience, where you can basically replace things like the stock app for maps with like a Google Maps or a Waze. And it also unlocks a lot of other apps like Slack and all those goodies. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. Now, I personally use Mint Mobile, and I pay like $15 a month And then that gives me unlimited pretty much everything, plus paying for the Wisephone plan. I'm looking at $30 a month all in, using Mint, bringing my own service. But if you don't have your own service provider, you can just start at $24.99 and use Wisephone's service plan. And then there's more tiers of pricing as you go. So there's $24.99, $44.99, and $64.99, I believe. I might be messing up the pricing, so I'm gonna put it on the screen right now. These are the actual prices right here. Pretty interesting little concept. So I think the group at Wisephone deliver on what they're offering, and I think the device is perfect for someone who has apps that they depend on for communication, i.e. Slack or Signal, but maybe they don't want the temptation of a fully unlocked smartphone. This comes at a slight premium. If you are looking for the cheapest way to pull off a mitigated cell phone approach, this is not that. But if you want something that looks and feels familiar, this might be right for you. And while I don't think smartphones are good for teenagers or kids, this might be a solid option for when you have a kid who is driving and needs all the communication options that a smartphone can offer, but without the ability to browse the web unnecessarily. This would be a good option to consider. Just to touch on the kids and smartphones thing for a minute, I have some experience with this space with a group called Pinwheel, which is more guided. And if you have younger teens, and absolutely cannot hold them off on getting a smartphone, then I would look into that. But the Wisephone to me seems a little more grown up and more straightforward. My only negative on the first tier is that the Maps app really didn't work well for me. And the calendar only suited me as an offline phone-specific app, not something that I could easily invite others to view or share a calendar like a Google Calendar would. If you want the better navigation, you're gonna have to go to that more premium tier price point. A big plus to me also was the ability to plug my phone into my PC and drag and drop my whole music library in one foul swoop. The internal storage gave sufficient space for me to work with. Battery life was excellent. I would use maybe 25% over the course of a 10-hour day. Is the Wisephone right for you? Hopefully this video helps you make an educated decision. If you do choose to purchase, you can use my referral link in the description and I'll get a small affiliate commission from that purchase. As always, thank you for watching. Check out my other videos, hang out. I'll see you next time.